Good morning and welcome to Taub Live. Guys, whoa, Donald Trump on Sunday made an utter fool of himself. I'm not sure if you saw him grab on to that gorgeous gold trophy for the winners of the World Cup. He held on to it because he wanted to lift it up above his own head as if he were the champion. You are not going to believe this. Now, I want to first share with you the video, which shows all of the booing. Turn up the volume, you'll love it. When Donald Trump, after the championship, headed down to the stage. It's fabulous. Music to my ears. Let's play that. Did you hear that? Someone shouting F Donald Trump. A few claps, but a few aggressive claps to try to override the sentiment of the crowd booing him. Let me give you some context. On Sunday, the World Cup Championship for FIFA was played in the United States. And the winner was the Chelsea Football Club that beat, I guess, a French team called, if you follow this, I think Saint-Germain. At any rate, the finals were played in the United States. Now, don't get confused. If you're not a sports person or a big football fan, you might not know that this is separate and apart from the fact that next year, 2026, the entire tournament is supposed to be played in North America, which also includes, of course, the United States. And there's some controversy over that because Donald Trump can't be trusted not to deport people who come to the United States, point blank. Okay, so what you just saw there was Donald Trump, and I'm just going to add this to the stage for a second so you can look at what we're looking at. There's, of course, the giant replica of the trophy in the back. And then there is the team, the Chelsea Football League, the football club, standing there, ready to be awarded this trophy. Now, here's the deal. As my thumbnail showed you, I said that Donald Trump stole the trophy, right? He took it. He snatched it. Now, there's several meanings, double meanings, triple meanings here. But what I want to make clear to you is that the trophy, that gold, it's a hollow trophy. It's gold plated. Apparently, we're going to talk about it, what it's worth in a moment. The most valuable trophy in sport, in all of sports, in the whole sports world. Apparently, it's valued at $20 million. What I want you to know is the one that was awarded on Sunday that he was grappling for so he could hold it above his head. That trophy isn't the real one. It's not. Because this spring, when the head of FIFA went to visit Donald Trump's office, right, and they had some team posing with Trump, and they were trying not to, he was making transphobic comments. You might remember that. Well, the deal is, I'm going to show you here that picture. So here's, you can see the trophy's looking large because it's right in front. It says FIFA in the front. It's gorgeous, kind of a globe. I mean, very beautiful as trophies go. Donald Trump, they visited him, and he said that the club's World Cup trophy will remain in the Oval Office after the tournament ends. This is what he has said now, right? But this is a photo from when that team was visiting him. I kid you not. Donald Trump was visited by the team. He said, "Can I keep it here until until the tournament?" And we get closer and closer to the final, right? To not the whole tournament, but to the finals, which was Sunday. And leading up to the final, they wanted to come get it, right? Get the trophies so they could get ready for the award ceremony in the weeks leading up to this. And Donald said, "You can't have it." So they literally had to manufacture a replica, right? They only made one for the 2025 champions. They made it. He was holding on to it, but he made it clear that he was going to refuse to give it up. I kid you not. Now, I need to, there's more to this story, but I need to show you Donald Trump on stage when he tried to grab it. Before I show the video, I think need to give you some more facts about this. Okay, so let's just look at this. There he is. I want to let you know a little bit more about this, about what he has said. Donald Trump has claimed that the Club World Cup trophy that has featured prominently in the Oval Office will stay there, and that FIFA had to make a copy to be awarded to Chelsea at their ceremony. Okay, now I want you to know a little more about this trophy. They say it's worth the most valuable trophy in sports, $20 million. It only weighs 6 kilograms, which I think is around 13 pounds. So it's not super heavy to lift up, you know, a heavy baby. And it's covered in 18 karat gold. So now you know a little bit more about the trophy. Now, I want to play for you the embarrassing scene on stage on Sunday when the football team, you know, they're being handed this gorgeous trophy as a symbol of their victory. They've worked hard for this. Many of these players, not just this season, but their whole life, this is what they love. This is their bliss. And they're going to hold it up over their head. Well, Donald doesn't want to let go of it. I got to show you this video. It's crazy as hell. Well, I apologize. When he didn't want to let me say the photo, my cover photo, is him pulling and not wanting to let go of it. It's this. If you look at this shot right here at the very beginning, do you see the head of FIFA is trying to hand the trophy over to like this team captain or one of the members of the team, and Donald's grabbing it. And when you look at his face, when you see the photos in the news, he's like not wanting to let go of it. Okay, let's start this again. They're trying to get him off stage. Look, they're trying to say move. He wants to stand next to them, but they're still trying to get Donald. See, the head is trying to get him out of the photo. They want a photo with him not in it. They literally grab his body and push him to the back. Do you see that? Oh my God. I mean, I don't know if you saw that. They couldn't get him out of the frame. They were waiting before they lifted it up and they could jump up and down. And finally, they kind of hug him off the stage. Maybe someone needs him hug him off the presidency, right? That was incredible. So that was, to me, hopefully the shape of things to come. But he stole that trophy. He snatched it when he was supposed to give it back, and they had to make a replica. And now he is boasting about it. Talk about stolen valor. What a disgusting guy. And here's the other deal. He stole it for himself, right? He's not going to leave it in the Oval Office. And let me tell you, whoever the next president is, if they're a Democrat, they would give it back. I mean, I still remember the day when people were criticizing the Clintons because I said they took everything that wasn't nailed down in the White House or something. I had only actually heard legitimately that maybe their staff took certain letters off the keyboards. Whatever it was, there were all these petty allegations. There is no one who's a worse crook and a bigger phony and a glory stealer and an insecure, racist, sexist, violent, murdering person than Donald Trump. And he's so petty that he needed to steal a trophy that he did not earn. Now let's switch over to a little more stuff on Donald Trump. So I think we have to talk and return to what's going on with Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeff Epstein and Donald Trump. And because there's some breaking news here. I don't know if you knew this. I certainly wasn't focused on it. But Ghislaine Maxwell, like any person in prison, has appealed her conviction. And her appeal was rejected by the Second Circuit. So she has asked the United States Supreme Court to hear her appeal, right? And you'll never believe it, but the deadline for the Trump administration to respond, because she's asking what's called a writ of certiorari. This is asking for when you go up to the Supreme Court, it's not a regular appeal. You're asking them to issue what's called a writ of certiorari, which is where the Supreme Court goes, oh, hey, Second Circuit, send me up this case. So you're, pleading to the court to ask them to ask to hear her appeal, right? It's very hard to get this. Now, the Department of Justice had yesterday as a deadline to respond to her petition for writ. And of course, I'm sure you're not surprised, but Trump's Department of Justice told the Supreme Court, do not take this case. And this is crazy because just the other day, Donald Trump said the whole Epstein file was fake news. So if it's fake news, why wouldn't the Department of Justice tell them to take the case? Why wouldn't they grant her a pardon? We have so many questions. So let's just first, before we get into that, remind everybody that Donald Trump and Ghislaine Maxwell were close friends. She was essentially Jeff Epstein's close friend and companion. All the photos I'm sharing with you, I have vetted to make sure they're not fakes because there are lots of deep fakes around here. And here's another one. You've seen this one a lot. On the left is Donald and Melania, who's right next to Jeff Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. They palled around together. And here's another one of Ghislaine Maxwell with Donald Trump. Okay? So yeah, they knew each other. Now, I think I want to show you another reminder. When Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted back in 2020, you might remember that Donald Trump sat down for an interview with Jonathan Swan of Axios News. I'd like to play that for you just as a reminder when Swan was asking Trump about Maxwell. Let's go.
The other day, a reporter asked you about Ghislaine Maxwell. You said, quote, I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, but I wish her well, whatever it is. Mr. President, Ghislaine Maxwell has been arrested on allegations of child sex trafficking. Why would you...
Oh, wait. I just need to play that part about them not knowing each other well. I got to start over. I got to focus here.
Mr. President, the other day, a reporter asked you about Ghislaine Maxwell. You said, quote, I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, but I wish her well, whatever it is. Mr. President, Ghislaine Maxwell has been arrested on allegations of child sex trafficking. Why would you wish such a person well?
First of all, I don't know that, but I do know that.
She has. She's been arrested for that. You know that.
Okay, so he admitted that he knew or seen her numerous times. When noted that she'd been arrested on child sex trafficking charges, and why would he wish her well? He said, I don't know that. It's a fact, Swan said.
Friend or boyfriend
Epstein
was either killed or committed suicide in jail.
Okay, did you hear that? Her friend or boyfriend was killed or committed suicide in jail. That's the first thing that's on his mind. Why? Let's listen.
She's now in jail. Yeah, I wish her well. I'd wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well. Good luck. Let them prove somebody was guilty. I mean, do you know that?
Oh, so you're saying you hope she doesn't die in jail? Is that what you mean by wish her well?
Her boyfriend died in jail, and people are still trying to figure out, how did it happen? Was it suicide? Was he killed? And I do wish her well. I'm not looking for anything bad for her. I'm not looking bad for anybody. And they took that. And
I mean, she's a child alleged child sex trafficking.
Big deal. But all it is her boyfriend died. He died in jail. Was he killed? Was it suicide? I do. I wish her well.
Holy shit. That seems different to me. Why do you wish her well? He's essentially saying, I hope she doesn't. Did you hear that? The logic there was her boyfriend died in jail. I hope she doesn't die in jail. What is he trying to do? Is that a threat? Right? She was charged. Now, I'm not sure when she was actually convicted. Maybe Deb or someone else can tell me. I know that that interview was in 2020. Conviction was, I'm wanting to say 2022, but I don't know. I thought it was all around that era. So that was Donald Trump 5 years ago. Why do you wish her well? Not I hope she gets a fair trial with due process, or I hope that, she was in this relationship with him. I hope she wasn't also involved. The only thing he wished her well was that she not get killed in prison. Again, when you look at that now, it sure hits different. Now, I want to talk to you about one more thing before I get to that Supreme Court filings. You may have heard also, and I've seen it in the news, that Ghislaine Maxwell, apparently, I don't know if it's true, I'm just seeing it reported, not the big media, is willing to testify before Congress if they have hearings on the Epstein matter. I don't think they will take her up on that offer. But even before we get to that, remember we were talking about how Ro Khanna was planning to, on Tuesday, introduce, today he wanted to introduce an amendment that would result in releasing the Epstein files. Well, in order to get there, you need, and this is kind of complicated inside baseball, but they went yesterday. Democrats in Congress on the Rules Committee went yesterday to ask the Rules Committee to vote to release, to allow for this vote to release the Epstein files. And so I want to share with you what went down there. We have, what you're going to see here is Representative Teresa Ledger Fernandez from New Mexico, or as she says on her website, Nueva Mexico. She was there speaking, and the chair of this Rules Committee is Virginia Fox. She's a Republican. You're also going to hear at the end Jim McGovern of Massachusetts voice. So this is Rep. Fernandez explaining the purpose of this vote related to releasing the Epstein files. Let's go.
Madam Chair, the Epstein files concern issues of abuse of women and abuse of children. As the chair of the Democratic Women's Caucus, you often see me raising issues of we need to address this. And not only that, but Republicans and the MAGA world have said they want to know about this. Your constituents want to know. So the question is, why are they not just releasing them? And I think it's a simple thing to do. And you're going to be asked to vote whether you require the release. That's going to be a simple vote. Will you require the release? Is there anything that needs to be hidden? If there isn't, then just release the files. Silence those who would question it. So every Republican on this committee should be able to easily vote yes. That is the vote you will be making as to whether it should go forward to the floor for that vote. So you, with your vote, will be preventing even the consideration of the release of the Epstein files. You will be voting against the release of the Epstein files. You have the power. Let's see how you vote.
Hearing none, the question's on the amendment. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. No. In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it. The amendment's not
Madam
agreed
Chair,
to.
I'm kind of shocked by that. I will ask for a roll call.
So he asked for a roll call, and the Republicans on the Rules Committee, they don't even want Congress to vote on the release of this. So this kind of explains why Donald Trump and Don Jr. and everyone in MAGA world was saying, we've got to release these files. It's terrible what happened to people. And then they say, well, there's nothing to see here. And then Donald had to add, oh, it's all made up by Hillary Clinton and all this stuff. Again, which makes no sense because the big central story around the Epstein files was it involved Bill Clinton. But anyway, the reason why Donald Trump has to say it's fake news and it's a hoax and it's a forgery and it's not real is so that no one releases it now. This is how this is playing out. I don't think this is good. I think when the MAGA base understands that Republicans are refusing to even discuss, even redacting parts of this, it is not going to play well. Now I want to move. Actually, I want to take one moment in the middle of this. Deb talked about this a while ago, and I want to bring this up. there is a nationwide rally or protest being organized by the same people who did No Kings, and it's happening this Thursday. And you might wonder, why a Thursday? Why July 17th? Well, the answer is that this is, I believe, the in a tribute to, hold on one second, let me just lift this up. I'm going to share this with you. I'm sorry. The reason why it's July 17th is this is a tribute for the birthday. Oh no, it's not his birthday. It's the 5th anniversary of John Lewis's death. I thought it might be his birthday. And this is happening nationwide around midday, a lot of places, at least here on the Eastern time zone. So I want to share this with you. Again, it's the 5th anniversary of John Lewis's passing. And here is the website that I'm sharing with you. I'm going to throw this into the chat, and then we're going to talk about it. Okay, so here you see this. Across America, let's make good trouble. We are facing the most brazen rollback of our civil rights in generations. Whether you're outraged by attacks on voting rights, the gutting of essential services, disappearances of our neighbors, or the assault on free speech and our right to protest, this movement is for you. Trump is trying to divide us, but we know the power of coming together. And just like always, you can find, here's the social media toolkit to share about it. You can learn about it. Look at all these places where they are having these protests. There is John Lewis. And then you can put your zip code in here in order to figure out where your event is. I'm super psyched about this. So letting you know. Okay. So a couple more things before we get to Crazy Town. So what's going on at the U.S. Supreme Court? Let's start, my friends, with basically what Ghislaine Maxwell had asked for. And then we'll switch over to Donald Trump's request, right? So I'm going to do my share screen. This is her. Here we go. This is Ghislaine's petition for writ of certiorari. Okay, so Maxwell versus United States on petition for writ of certiorari to the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. Again, she's asking the Supreme Court to tell the Second Circuit, give me this case, right? That's what this is. So the question, I'm going to blow this up for you guys. The question presented here. So actually, let me just, I'm going to stop sharing for a second and tell you this in plain English. So remember when I told you that yesterday, I reminded you that Jeff Epstein had served time in 2008 in Florida. I think I told you it was a state case. It's a federal case. And he was the plea deal that was arranged for the Southern District of Florida, where he ended up serving time in prison, although he had really very cushy quarters and could leave either during the day or on weekends. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't a full day, all the time gig. And I think he had a special wing in the prison and all that. So when that deal was arranged for, when he got that sweetheart deal in 2008, as part of that arrangement, he only had to plead guilty to prostitution, not to child trafficking. And also there was some kind of immunity deal or some kind of settlement with his co-conspirators. It was something that I think we've heard about Alan Dershowitz helping to arrange way back when. And so what Ghislaine Maxwell is saying is, hey, I should be part of that deal. My conviction should be overturned as a result of that. That's essentially what she is arguing. So let me just share that screen again now that I've given you some of that context, right? So, and I got to blow this up. Here we go. Okay, so, oh, I'm sorry. This is the brief in opposition. Why don't we just go for that? So this is what the Department of Justice is saying. Whether Maxwell's prosecution for sex trafficking of a minor by the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York was prohibited by a non-prosecution agreement between the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida and petitioner's co-conspirator. So was it blocked, right? Because she is saying, Ghislaine is saying, essentially, that deal that you guys made, that dirty deal you made in Florida with Epstein, hey, that applies to me as well. That's what she's saying. I'm just going to, kind of summarize it. And they're saying no. They're saying no. And that is essentially the deal. I want to go back though to her. I'm going to share this tab instead. This is her asking, right? What she says. So they said, is her appeal blocked? What she's trying to say is that it should include her, essentially, right? And so I'm just going to stop. I don't want to go into the weeds of this. But basically, that's the story. So now the Department of Justice filed this yesterday, and we will have to see whether the Supreme Court decides to hear the case. If they don't, then she stays in prison, subject to some other proceeding under her 20-year sentence, right? Deb, I can't see here. Was she sentenced in 2022? I think so. So she's got many more years left of her sentence unless it gets overturned. So we've got a question before the Supreme Court. Now, speaking of the Supreme Court, yesterday, a terrible ruling where they allowed on the so-called shadow docket, before a case is even further heard, for Donald Trump to shut down the Department of Education. Now, of course, the three dissenters were Ketanji Braxton Down, Sotomayor, and Kagan. I think Sotomayor wrote the dissent. And on the one hand, this is terrible that he is gutting the Department of Education. On the other hand, depending upon the ultimate reasoning in this case, this will allow a future president to rebuild and have a lot more executive power, one would think, to get rid of and restart up these organizations. Now, that's the best spin I can give on it. It's actually quite terrible, because when the Supreme Court yesterday decided to stop the lower courts and to let Donald Trump move forward in gutting the Department of Education, they didn't even write a decision. They didn't write an opinion at all. The only opinion in this case is the actual dissent. It's actually the dissent. Donald Trump stacked the court with his appointees. We need 13 justices. And by the way, the next Democrat who runs for office had better have a plan, even if they don't say it out loud, if they have a majority in Congress, to go ahead and expand the court. And the expansion needs to be to 13, and that president should add them all. And this is a lawless court. That's how I see it. And we need justices on this court who have a different view about presidents violating the Constitution. That's where I am on this. Now, I've got some good news in court. Let me share this with you. A federal appellate court is protecting the Afghan immigrants who came to the United States after helping us in our ongoing war there. So yesterday, late last night, an appellate court, this is right, I'm reading you from NPR, an appeals court late Monday night stepped in to keep in place protections for nearly 12,000 Afghans that have allowed them to work in the U.S. and be protected from deportation after they were set to expire. But these are going to expire in August. A court yesterday said, because on Friday they had filed this case, but the district court, or I shouldn't say had filed this case. On Friday, a district court had not granted the stay. So on appeal, the appellate court put it as stay. What does this mean? This means that Trump cannot deport these 12,000 Afghans, or said differently, they can't remove the protected status. More on this. So the Department of Homeland Security had said in May that it was ending this protected status for nearly 12,000 people from Afghanistan, right? And again, this had allowed them to work and they couldn't be deported in the meantime. I'm reading more from this article now, or I'm summarizing this NPR story. And I'm going to quote right now from Janine from Jenny Murray, who's the president and CEO of the National Immigration Forum. Here's what Murray said. Since so many of those losing their protection served alongside U.S. forces, we should honor that service by upholding our promise to provide safety and ensure that they have an opportunity to thrive here. We urge Congress to protect Afghans by providing them permanent status, a commitment that is long overdue, right? So there's two different things going on. Right now, we have a court stopping the Trump administration from ending this protected status. This is hugely, hugely unpopular, and yet Donald Trump is moving forward with this. I mean, can you imagine close to 12,000 people who helped us, cooperated with us, who would meet certain death in Afghanistan from the Taliban, and Chrissy Noem wants to send them back? This is among the most dishonorable things, and there are so many from the Trump administration. Okay, guys, I got some crazy town for you. Let's do it. So, you know how Donald Trump claims that he told Congress, don't touch Medicaid, don't touch Medicare? Well, you know, they did. And the deal here is that the plan to create the so-called work requirements for Medicaid, which makes sense on paper until you find out that 92% of the people on Medicaid who are between 18 and 65 are actually either working full or part-time or taking care of someone or are in school. That's 92% of them. And what this will do is put in basically all this paperwork and red tape for those people, hoping that they miss one email or, you know, they ignore, you know, someone loses the paperwork at the government and then you can't get through when you call the phone lines. This is all a scam to cut people from their health insurance. And so the latest thing on this is Mehmet Oz, who actually has a position in the Trump administration, right? He is, what did they give him? What job did they give him? Yeah, he's now head of the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, right? So this is under Robert F. Kennedy. This is a pretty big job, head of the Center for Medicaid and Medicare Services. He goes on television yesterday, and I got to play this for you. It's been getting a lot of play, but no one has seen the whole thing. So this is where he blames people, where he almost says you're only allowed to have health insurance if you're healthy. Okay, let's go.
Promise to the American people to take care of you if you're having problems financially or if you're having an issue because you were older and needed health care. And it changed the country in a good way for many reasons. But we're all in it together, Stuart, which means we'll be there for you, the American people, when you need help with Medicaid and Medicare. But you've got to stay healthy as well. Be vital. Do the most you can do to really live up to the potential, your God-given potential to live a full and healthy life. And, you know, don't eat carrot cake. Eat real food.
Okay, that's the line. Don't eat carrot cake, eat real food. And, you know, when we saw that, we were all kind of like, what's the beef about carrot cake? Keep watching.
You've given me. I know. This is a little bit of a wink, but
Okay. He had actually brought a carrot cake to the studio. Why? Let's play.
I was jokingly calling this the Maha Medi cake, but of course I couldn't find a healthy cake, so I bought the closest.
The Maha Medi cake? Make America Healthy Again Medicare cake. He said he couldn't find anything healthy, so he got the closest thing. Let me just keep playing this for you.
Cake, so I bought the closest thing, a carrot cake.
Well, just leave it right there. We'll take care of it.
I'm sure you will.
Okay. First of all, Donald Trump eats hamburgers all the time. Second of all, if you want people to have healthier options, then you don't cut food stamps that can go to local farm stands and so on. Okay, I could just go on and on. But I asked myself, I want to dig deeper into this crazy town. Why would Mehmet Oz bring a carrot cake if he's thinking you should eat healthier? Why didn't he bring carrots? And then I started cracking up. Do you know why he didn't bring carrots? Do you know? Last time Mehmet Oz tried to buy vegetables at a store, he lost an election for Senate. Not that he would have been much worse than Fetterman these days, but at least we got another Senate vote. Okay, so I want to share with you, if in case you forgot, the whole crudité disaster. Let's watch this. Oops.
And my wife wants some vegetables for crudité, right? So here's a broccoli. That's $2. Not a ton of broccoli here. There's some asparagus. That's $4. Yep. Carrots.
I love this. So this was something from the Lincoln Project back when. It was in these pop-ups, like pop-up video from MTV or VH1. Look on the right. In 2018, Dr. Oz paid $5.25 million for lying about dietary supplements he marketed on his TV show. Okay, let's keep going.
That's $4 more. That's $10 of vegetables there. And then we need...
I love this. Grocery stores have carts and baskets that customers can use to carry their groceries. Other things, he called it Redmond's instead of Wegmans, but okay, trying to prove he was really from, Pennsylvania, not New Jersey. He really is in New Jersey, but he ran for Senate of Pennsylvania.
Some guacamole. That's $4 more.
Also, who puts guacamole in crudité? Maybe that's a dip. Dr. Oz has a net worth of over $100 million.
She loves salsa. Yeah, salsa there. $6. Must be a shortage of salsa. Guys, that's $20 for crudité, and this doesn't include the tequila. I mean...
This is my favorite. Crudité is not usually served with tequila.
It's outrageous. We got Joe Biden to thank for this.
So that, my friends, is why carrot cake, I believe, is now being maligned because he was afraid to bring real vegetables. And so I did a little research on carrot cake from this statistical website. And this is carrot cake trends. So we have, until yesterday, social conversations about carrot cake had decreased by 101% over the past year. Only 4.97% of restaurants, less than 5%, actually offer carrot cake on their menus. And this is my favorite. The fastest rising consumer need for carrot cake is snack. And the dominating diet for carrot cake is vegan. True story, my friends. I used to love carrot cake, but I have a terrible walnut allergy. And it's really difficult for anyone to make a carrot cake without putting walnuts in it. So I don't eat carrot cake, but now I'm thinking I should. Have a great night or afternoon. I will see you fresh, bright and early tomorrow morning. And remember, get ready for good trouble. We all need a little more.
Hello, prison mates. It's the Taub show. Well, welcome everyone. Let's learn about what is happening in politics yesterday and today. There was hope, and we are together in this democracy we work for. And again, welcome to the Taub show. Hello, prison mates. It's the Taub show. Well, welcome everyone. Let's learn about what is happening in politics yesterday and today. There was hope, and we are together in this democracy we work for. And again, welcome to Jen Taub Show.